Let's roll! Break down! Come on! Let's roll! Yay! Roland Butter, sporting nutter, at your service. Best mate Keith's on the camera. Say hello, Keith.
Hello, Keith.
Keith. Now, you know what the man said. If you want to get ahead, get a bike.
And a hat.
Whatever. And we can, because it says in Mum's paper there's a massive bike race in a minute.
Next week?
Yeah, and it's not just an ordinary bike race, it's the big Daddy a Bike.
BMX?
No, even bigger. Bicycle! Bicycle! I am talking mountain bike.
Hey, nice one.
And I'm going to go in for it. So to get ready, I'm going to get on my bike. Come on, Keith, let's roll. Fact, it can take a whole week cycling to burn off a pizza. So it makes sense to eat one while you go along.
Come on, Ray, put your back into it.
I can do 100 if I want. Fact, cycling is called aerobic exercise, which means that you can eat all the bubbly chocolate you want, because the bubbles are made of air, which actually makes you lighter. See? Fact, you can make a whole bucket of sweat from cycling. Biking makes you sweat because it's your body's way of telling you to chill out. But you must drink plenty of liquids.
Shouldn't it be a drink of water, Ro?
Let's roll!
Slow down, Roland, it's on fire! Blimey, Roland, you've burned off quite a bit of weight.
Yeah, I burnt off the old exercise bike and all. Oh, right, my dinner's ready. I'm Hank Marvin. Roland! I'm hungry, Mummy!
Did you save any for me?
My mum said I shouldn't give you no food after you left them Southern Star turkey bing-bongs last time you come round. You can have a little bit of my chocky-wocky whiz-bang if you want.
Oh, cheers, Ro.
Right, go on, have it. Come on, dinner break over. Let's roll. Keep up, Keith. What could be more perfect on a summer's day or even in the wintertime than on your bike? The bloke what invented it's a genius. Now, the bike was invented in the olden days by Mr. Bike, and he called his first one a Velociraptor.
I think you mean a velocipede, Roland.
I thought that's an insect.
No. Here, stop a minute, Roland, I've got a stitch.
You want to keep fit, you do, Keith, like me. Anyway, people thought Velociwas's face was a bit of a mouthful, so they started calling it a bike, after Mr. Bike, see? Then he invented a bike called the penny farthing, because that's how much it costed in the olden days.
Actually, it was because it had one big wheel and one tiny wheel. Like the 2 coins, penny, farthing, get it?
Well, you smart kid, be quiet. I'm on telly. Anyway, next, he invented the old man's bike for Sir Walter Raleigh, the racing bike for racing, and the chopper bike for chopping.
Actually, the chopper bike copied the chopped or customised motorbike, driven by the Hells Angels in America.
I know, my mum's got one. And that brings us full circle to the BMX bike, like what me and Smart Kid have got. Except his is a girl's bike. We got the party up.
Slow down, Roland!
I can't!
The party. Kick it!
Come on, Keith. OK, part of bike is maintenance. Now, when I went off-road back there, from going too fast, I got a puncture, what I repaired with a puncture repair kit.
Well, actually, I repaired it for you, really, Roland.
Meet Mr. Edwards, next-door neighbour. He's a bikeist.
A cyclist, actually, Roland. I simply located the hole in the vicinity of the inner tube, by submerging it in water.
But I helped.
Once I'd located said entry point, I proceeded to staunch the airflow with a rubber patch and some adhesive, finishing the repair with a light dusting of French chalk.
French chalk? He used to be a policeman. But I helped, didn't I?
A bit. You watched me. Keep on pumping. Is Mrs. Butter in, Roland?
Think so, in the lounge.
Keep up the pumping till I return presently.
He said pumping.
Pumping! Pumping! Must nearly be hard enough. Mr. Edwards! OK, now before we go mountain biking, Mr. Edwards next door has lent the show Let's Roll with Roland Butter his old racer. Now, he's had it since 1974, which is nearly 100 years. It's really old school. It's got the old drop handlebars and a saddle made of leather. Doesn't look very comfortable, does it, Keith?
Looks like it'll go right up your bum, Roland.
Painful. Well, I've just given it a squirt of oil to get it lubricated.
Eh?
Round the pegals and hubs and that.
Oh.
And now I'm going to teach you how to make your own onboard refreshment. Lovely. Like what the French blokes had on their bikes in the Tour de France, which is French for bike race. First, take 1 2-litre family-sized bottle of Physiola. Next, 2 rolls of industrial-strength carpet tape, like so.
Get down!
More tape on there.
Right, I'm back for my bicycle. Where is it, Roland?
Ta-da! I made you a refreshment bottle full of Physiola, Mr. Edwards.
Oh. I've already furnished myself with a modest receptacle of Adam's ale prior to departing.
Oh?
Besides, Physiola isn't really the ideal libation for bicycle touring. Now, would you kindly remove that adhesive tape so I might perambulate?
What's he on about? Anyway, I'll show you how to use the refreshment bottle. First, get a straw, then get on the bike.
Roland Butter, dismount my bicycle!
Oh! Let's roll! Think once, think twice, think bike. But if you want to peggle with the big boys, you've got to learn the pegals. Let's roll! Like the wise man once said, they don't make bikes like they used to, which is a good thing, because they was rubbish and weedy like Mr. Edwards's. No good for modern kids like me. Check out the suspension on this baby.
Yeah, Roland, are you all right?
Didn't hurt. Downhill mountain biking, you can reach speeds of almost 60 miles an hour. Whee! Four-cross mountain bike racing. Awesome! I'm going in for the big four-cross bike race tomorrow, but before I do, I'm going to get down and dirty and get some hot tips from the world champion mountain bikist, Rob Warner. Bike 1, safety and clobber. Hey Rob, check out the kit, yeah?
Well, you got your helmet on, you got your full body armour,
Cool.
you got your gloves,
Heavy.
and you got these stretchy pants on, which just ain't cool. And I can't be seen with you.
Cheers, Rob. Oh, knickers.
What, you gotta wear knickers and all?
Keith! Code of Bike 2, clips.
Fishing clips.
I do the jokes, Keith, and the food. Yep, I brought my special clip shoes with me, Rob.
Yeah, some people who can't ride their bikes properly have to use this clip to stick their feet to the bike here. But it's ridiculous, all wrong.
Yeah, I think it's rubbish and all.
Getting that down, buddy.
Rob. Code of Bike 3, saddle up. Think you'll find I've adjusted the old saddle, Rob?
Yeah, just if we're going down the shops. For downhill, you want it low and out of the way.
Yeah, well, I just did a high one as a demonstration, innit?
Whatever, Rolly, you're just going to get saddle sore.
Cheers, Rob. Saddle sore? Not me.
You are now.
Keith! Code of Bike 4, balance. Look, Keith, no hands. Like it.
To ride off-road, you need great balance.
Yeah, I know that. I can almost do it because I nearly done no hands.
Here, Rob. Do you think he's ready for the race?
Cut! Yep, I just done that to show you kids how dangerous mountain biking can be. Well, it's the big 4-cross mountain biking race tomorrow, so you younger kids better turn in and go bye-byes. But for us bigger kids, it's time for Sarah Beanie on Property Ladder. Perfect entertainment for the bigger boy and mountain bikist. Oh,
I'm going home to watch Sarah Beanie.
can I come?
No?
Oh, she's my Sarah Beanie.
Not no more, she ain't. You feeling nervous, Roland?
Give over, Keith. I'm the boss at 4-cross. I had 4 bowls of sugar bangs for breakfast. I'm raring.
I know that, but what about the bike race?
Riders ready, pedals ready, go!
Stand back, kids. Butters in action.
Here, what's up, Ro?
Do you see that bloke push me? Anyway, I got a stitch.
Oh, you can't stop now, Roland. They're winning you. And imagine everyone watching on telly. Imagine Sarah Beanie off Property Ladder was watching.
Roland, you have the power. Go on, Roland. Mountain bike for Sarah.
You flipping better, I will. Lucky I strapped on some onboard nutrification. Oh. Beans, the musical fruit.
The more you eat,
The more you... I'm blowing off a beanie! Where's the brakes?
cake. What cake?
No! Brakes!
Cakes are in your lunchbox.
Not cakes! Brakes!
Oh, nasty!
That's gonna hurt, isn't it?
Oh, brakes.
And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, Bob Barner from the UK will show you how to fly down the most craziest mountain biking downhill course ever. All I can say for that is insane in the brain.
My name's Rob Warner. I'm 10th in the world this year, ranked #1 in Britain.
I'm Sabine Delmast. I'm from France, and I am 13 in the world.
To race is great, but it's big pressure. But the difference between that and just cruising around town doing tricks and wheelies and jumps is that that's just most fun you can have on a bike, really. It's just no danger, no pressure.
I like riding bike in the street.
In Monaco especially, you can go right up people's noses.
I hear what you're saying. You can play that game you're playing. Yeah. You can play that game.
Using all your skills and just having a good time, you know. It's what it's all about, really. The only reason I come to Monaco is to ride Cap d'Aille. To me, it's the ultimate challenge, like the best course in the world. It goes off big style, you know, it's got everything a rider could ask for.
I like to ride fast. I like speed, the sensation and emotion.
I don't think you need to be mad to do the sport. I think the riders that are mad end up in hospital, you know. The riders that are good ride within themselves, and obviously you can't, you've got to take risks, but you can minimise those risks.
Sometimes I feel fear on this course because there is a lot of rocks and I don't like rocks.
You're purely focused on nailing the lines, nailing the straights and being at the bottom strong, you know. Yeah, I like the danger of riding courses like Cap d'Aille because, you know, you're right on the edge all the way down and the adrenaline buzz when you get to the bottom's awesome.
This course takes 1 hour on foot and 5 minutes with bike.
You really need to be at one with your bike. It's all about taking it to the limit but not over it. You have to be real smooth through the corners. It's like 30 hairpins you brake into, hammer into. If you make a mistake, you're looking at sort of 40, 50-foot cliffs everywhere, so it's one of the most gnarly courses in the world. The bike's floating beneath you on the loose rocks. You've just got to be able to have so much confidence in it because it's drifting here and it's drifting there. And you're hanging on for dear life. You're racing the terrain, and that's the fact. It's a sense of self-pride, I suppose, when you get to the bottom and you've got away with all the risks you've took, you know, and you've made it one more time. You know, it's an awesome buzz.
OK, we've got Rob Warner here. He has, in fact, finished first, haven't you, Rob?
In that heat, yeah.
In that heat.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It means, unfortunately, I've progressed through to the next round and got to walk away up the hill again.
So you got to go all the way up there?
I have again, yeah.
How can you do that when you must be just physically drained, right? Because you've been doing heats all morning.
It is physically hard, yeah. I mean, the walking up's not so bad, but you're doing lots of little sprints on the way down. Out of each turn, you've got to be really hammering, you know, to beat the opposition. So
tell me a bit about Saracen team.
Saracen team's the biggest in Britain now. Most amount of riders and biggest in profile, really. Saracen Mountain Bike Company based in Warwick, who build the bikes for us.
And it's an international team, isn't it?
It's an international team, yeah, that's right, which is one of only a few in Britain.
We like that at MTV Europe, that international feel. There's a French girl on the Saracen team, just in case there are any French viewers.
She's good, yeah.
Is she? Is she a babe?
Yeah, she's a babe, actually. Yeah.
How many girls have you got on your team?
4 or 5.
I mean, why is it you think that we don't see that many girls coming down in the downhill? Why is that?
I don't know. I know today that why they're not is because they didn't put a girls' class in, which was a bit unfair, I think.
It's kind of out of order,
yeah,
isn't
it's a little bit unfair, but I don't know. It tends to be still a man's sport, I think. Not sounding too sexist.
It's quite new, though, isn't it?
It's quite new, and I think women will come into it more and more. You know, in Europe, women are big.
The other, well, I know that. No, now, I wanted to ask you one more thing, right? How do you protect your private parts?
I've got these chamois leathers here. In fact, I double up. You see, I got one there.
Yeah.
I got there's another one in these, so I'm doubly protected. I must
you have
admit.
to use your knees as shock absorbers as well.
You have to be a bit careful, yeah. Yeah, that doesn't help it. That's a bit dangerous, that being there like that.
No, you don't want to land them up.
No, that shouldn't be
there. A quick colonic irrigation. Now, I think before I get myself into any trouble, we better sign off. But thank you very much for that. Good luck.
Cheers. No worries.
Please peel your prawns, warm your cockles, and pull your muscles for Stephen Squid Lips Mohan!
Hello, how are you? And welcome to the mad, mad world of...
Dog Cool Low.
This is the mad, mad world of Globo Loco, the game show that's full of crazy challenges and great prizes. On today's show, can you predict who'll chip the most in their pot? A footballer, a golfer, or a tiddlywinker?
Which of these three can squeeze their entire body through the head of a tennis racket? Who'll win in our underwater bike race? A TV first. And can two nurses really rip 100 plasters off a very hairy man in 60 seconds?
Only in the mad, mad world of Globo Loco. And here to play, let's meet the teams.
Playing for the boys, we've got Daniel Chorner, Lee Gosling, Nick Murrow,
and lining up for those girls, we've got
Josephine Donahue, Kimmy Wall, Holly Whedon.
Now, of course, both teams are here for a bit of fun and to go away with some fantastic prizes. And my dad, well, he's got the lot. Dad, what are you going to give away today?
How about some of this? I've got walkie-talkies, bang! I've got games console, dush! I've got chess sets, quack! And some backpacks, boom, boom! And some big, airy, freewheeled scooters! Lovely, lovely!
Lovely. Here's challenge one.
Chips.
On the menu today, we're serving up a real feast in the shape of chips, Globo Loco style. Let's meet our challengers. Who have we got then, Dad?
Professional footballer Nyron Nosworthy, defensive rock for Gillingham FC.
Now, Nyron here has 10 footballs, which he needs to chip into this target, which is 4.5 metres away. Who's up next, Dad?
Professional golfer Simon Page. Now, Simon's won over 30 pro tournaments.
Thank you, Simon. Now, Simon here has 10 golf balls, which he needs to chip into this net, which is 4 metres away. And last, Dad, who we got?
Professional tiddlywinker, Charles Relly. Now, Charles is in the world's top 10 tiddlywinkers.
Now, Charles here will be chipping or tiddling his 10 winks into this pot, which is a distance of 23 centimetres. So which one of our challengers will get the most into their target and become chip champion? They only have 45 seconds. Dad, who are you going to back?
Pass the salt and vinegar, Steve-O, because this is going to be a tasty chip challenge. I mean, look at Nyron over there. Ball control is the guy's middle name. And Simon, never underestimate a golfer, a disciple at God's own game. But old Charlie boy, I mean, he's in a league of his own. I've seen him out the back there, psyching himself up, hunched up over his little pot, going, "Who dares winks? Who dares winks? Who dares winks?" It was Chili. He's the one. The man is a monster winker from the planet Tiddle.
So Dad is backing Charles all the way, but do our teams agree? Let's find out. So you're going to go for then, guys?
Golf.
The golfer, why is that?
Because he looks really skillful on it.
Yeah, but the footballer's a professional footballer.
So?
And the tiddlywink, oh, so, OK, all right, let's move on. Let's see what the girls think. Come on in, ladies, who are you going to say?
We're going to go for the golf.
The golfer as well?
Yeah.
Why?
For the golf, we've got the golf stick that goes on.
OK, so you're going to go for the golfer?
Yes.
What do you think? Who will be chip champion? Will it be the tiddlywinker? Will it be the footballer? Or will it be the golfer? Let's find out. Good luck to all three. Dad, let's do it.
Ready, gents? I'd like you to start chipping away on my whistle.
Here we go. Oh, straight in for a tiddlywink. Oh, and a golf ball. Two out of 2, Mr. Tiddlywink man. Go on, Charles. 3 out of 3. Oh, 4 out of 4. Even Stevens at the moment between the tiddlywinker and the golfer. 5 out of 5 for Charles and 5 golf balls. This is a close one. 6 out of 6 for Charles. This is incredible. And the football has just got 1, 2. The tiddlywinker should have it.
7, 6,
4, 3, 2, 1. Stop. I'll tell you what, that was a close one. Dad, how many did Nyon get?
Nyron's got 2.
Give him a cheer anyway. I think so. What about Simon, our golfer?
Simon's got 5.
What about Charles?
Oh. Charles Relly got 7.
Charles is a happy man. There you go, Charles. There's your Global Loco medal. Thank you
Thanks
so much
very
for that.
much.
That's all right, no problem.
Thank you very much.
It's a joy to have you on the show. Well, none of the teams backed him. Dad said he'd do it all the time. Dad, what does that mean?
I told them Charles was a world-class tiddlywinker. They didn't listen to their dad. They don't win themselves a handheld games console each.
And here is challenge 2. Will the real
tennis racket contortionist
please stand up
and climb through a tennis racket?
This is amazing. Unbelievably, one of our next challengers can stretch and squeeze their whole body through this bitty little gap. Are you interested? Of course you are. Let's meet our challengers.
Number 1 is 22-year-old Sophie Holland, currently residing in London. She's also an actress.
How are you?
Hello,
Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
Dad, who's up next?
Number 2 is artist Chris Noel. He's also an hospital porter.
How are you, Chris?
Very well, thank you.
How are you feeling?
Not bad.
Good stuff. Dad, last we have...
Number 3 is Ben French. He's not French, but he is a Ben, and he's a student.
Hello, mate. How you doing? Welcome to the show. And good luck to you all. So, which one of the 3 can actually squeeze their rubbery body through this 36-centimetre hole? Dad, what do you think? What do you think about number 1?
Well, Stephen, I asked you, is this a challenge for a lady? No, it's not.
OK, what about number 2?
I've had my eye on him. He's arty, so he's probably weird enough to do this. In fact, he probably even gets a grant for it.
And number 3?
Well, it's a student, innit? I mean, I'm surprised he's been able to drag himself in here today, out of bed. He's probably only here for the free biscuits.
So Dad is going to back our team number 2, but do our teams agree? Let's find out. It's coming, guys. Who are you going to go for?
Number 1.
Yeah. Number one?
Number 1.
Why number 1?
She got smaller shoulders.
She's got smaller shoulders. OK, it is really small, isn't it? Well, the boys are going to go for number 1. Let's see what the girls think. Ladies, 1, 2 or 3?
3.
You're going to go for number 3. Why number 3?
Because he looks lanky.
Is that right?
He looks like he can bend quite
Bend.
a lot.
OK. The girls go for number 3, the boys go for number 1. But what do you think at home? Is it 1, 2 or 3? Let's find out if you are right. Oh, I'm looking forward to this one. Right, it's time to ask, will the real
tennis racket contortionist
please stand up
and climb through a tennis racket?
Is it going to be 1, 2 or 3?
I'll tell it's the arty one. Here we go. No, hang on.
It's not... Right, let's see you do your stuff, Ben.
He goes, wiggly his toes.
How's he going to do this?
Oh, blimey. Now, don't try this at home, boys and girls, unless you're completely chicken oriental. It'll make your mum very cross if you break her tennis racket.
Oh, look at that.
How does he do that?
That's ridiculous.
He's stuck.
He is stuck.
We've got Nurse Angela standing by with a tub of lard in case.
Father Jason's close by too.
Has he got a tub of lard?
Look. No.
Oh, no. How do you do that?
He's got to get...
It's like his legs up round his neck.
He's got to get round the hips now, look. Oh.
Oh, no, I've got the EBGBs looking at that. Oh, no. Oh, no.
How's he doing it?
How's he do that?
That is ridiculous, isn't it? Could you do this, Dad?
I'll try later. Oh no!
He's done it! Hey, I tell you what. Mate, that was fantastic. I've seen some freaky things on this show, but that is the best. Let's hear it for Ben! Well, fabulous, seriously, absolutely fabulous. Well, the girls were right to say it was Ben. He could do it. Dad, what have they won?
I told them the student was bendy. The girls listen to their dad. They win themselves an each-pack backpack worth about £40 each.
How good was that? But don't go away because there's still loads more to come. We've got a TV first for you. How would you like to see a swimmer, a diver and a cyclist
Having a bike race in a swimming pool. And we're going to cover a really fat, hairy man with 100 plasters and then rip them all off.
only in the mad, mad world of Global Loco? We'll see you in a bit. To the mad world of Global Loco. It's time for our next challenge. It's
on your bike.
In this challenge, we have a top swimmer, a top cyclist, and a professional diver racing against each other on mountain bikes underwater.
Woo.
The winner will be the first person to push, pull, ride or drag their bike to the far end and touch the wall. And the runners and riders are...
In lane one, we have Jamie King, an ex-Olympic swimmer and current British record holder for the breaststroke. Lovely. In lane 2 is Rob Warner, 3 times British downhill mountain bike champion, winner of the World Cup in 1996 and ladies' man. In lane 3 is Glenn Luxton, a professional diver with a list of qualifications up to his rubber-coated armpit. What a...
Good one, isn't it? Dad, we've all got something to their advantage. Who are you going to back on this one?
Well, number 1's a swimmer, isn't it? But can she handle a bike? I don't know.
What about number 2?
He knows his two-wheeled onions, but does he know his H2O machines?
What about the diver?
Well, the bloke's virtually a fish. He eats oxygen underwater for money, but can he eat bike? Yes, yes, yes.
Dad says yes to the diver. Let's see if our teams agree. Who are you going to back, fellas?
The biker.
The biker, why?
Because it's got stronger leg muscles.
So the guys are going to go for the biker, the cyclist. But what about the girls? Let's find out. And then, ladies, who are you going to go for?
And we're going to go for the diver because we think he's going to have really good breath control.
Oh, clever stuff. OK, so the girls have gone for the diver, the boys have gone for the cyclist. What about you at home? What do you think? Will it be the swimmer? Will it be the cyclist? Or will it be the diver? Let's find out.
There's the old croc with the clock, and they're off.
Oh, Rob the cyclist is straight out.
Come on, Jamie, I like the look of that swimmer. She's not very fast, though.
He's going for it, isn't he? The cyclist in the middle.
What's happened to my diver? Come on, mate, get your nut underwater. There he goes, submerging. Dive, dive, dive.
The swimmer's still behind.
Halfway stage now, the cyclist is going for the deep end.
Oh, he's off his bike.
That's all right, that's allowed. It's a freestyle event. It's the first one to the end by fair means or foul. Oh, Jamie's swimming now. Look at her stroke. Come on, girl. She's coming up on the outside. All the way, all the way. Come on, girl. Jamie's there. Yes, she's touched the end. Yes!
Good girl. The swimmer's won. He's not happy, look.
He is. Don't know why. He just lost it.
It was so close, but she just gets there, and she still had her bike, which makes her the undisputed underwater bike champion.
Undisputed. Look at that lovely cow.
So Jamie took the race, and the teams haven't won any more prizes yet again. Is that right, Dad?
We told him it was a swimmer, didn't we, Adam?
Yeah.
So they don't win themselves this magnificent flying machine. What flies? Each!
Here is challenge 4.
Plastered.
Now, this fine figure of a man is a guy called Ron Jeeps, and he's a football manager from Hastings. How are you, Ron?
Very well.
Good to see you, mate. And he has kindly, yet foolishly, volunteered to have his whole body covered in plasters. But not just one, we're talking about 100! Oh, yes. Now, the challenge is simply this. Can 2 trainee nurses rip off all 100 plasters in just 60 seconds? I'll tell you what, let's make it a bit easier for them. Let's go for... Oh, that's gotta hurt. Let's make it 99. Here's Dad with the challengers.
These ladies are Kerry Hampton and Leslie Gross-Nipper, 2 young nurses in the making. They've come in uniform, which I have to say is lovely.
Lovely indeed. Hello, ladies. Welcome to the show. Tell me something. Are you feeling confident about the challenge?
Positive, yeah.
Really?
I think we can do it.
Fantastic. Well, fingers crossed for you. Also, this has got to be painful for him, hasn't it?
I think it might be. We'll be gentle.
OK, well, don't forget, you do only have 60 seconds. Good luck to you both. Dad, do you think they can do it?
Well, Steve, getting your nails under them plasters is a tricky and fiddly business, and he may require hospitalisation. So it's just as well we got 2 nurses here, isn't it?
Can they do it?
No. Or yes.
That's going to help the teams, isn't it? Let's see what they think. Guys, can they do it?
Yes.
Yes. Seriously, I don't think they can. I think this is too hard, but you're going to say yes.
Yes. Yeah.
The boys say yes. Let's see what the girls say. Go on in, ladies. What do you think? Yes or no?
We'd say yes. Yeah.
You're going to say yes
Yeah.
as well. See, I really think it's too difficult. But both teams, they both say yes. What do you think at home? Can the girls rip off 99 plasters in just 60 seconds? Let's find out. Good luck, Leslie. Good luck, Kerry. Dad, let's do it.
Nurses, I'd like you to pull as fast as you can on my whistle.
Here we go. 99 more. It's quite hot. It's so bad. They are ripping them off. Keep going, girls. 45 seconds left.
Don't spare him.
Look how red Ron's face has gone. Keep going. Oh, the hairs. 30 seconds left. You're doing well, girls. Oh, look at his belly. It's all going red.
20 seconds.
20 seconds. Come on. Get ready for the countdown. It's going to be close. I don't think they're going to do it, but they're certainly giving it a go. 9, 8, 7. Quick. Speed up. Quick. Come on. Ron's going through pain. Quick. No. They haven't done it. Look. Oh, look. Can it just show your arm, Ron? Look. You only had a few left. Oh, what a shame. Let's have an R. But listen, thank you so much for coming on the show. Sadly, you don't get the medals, and nor do the teams. They both said they would do it, but they didn't. Dad, what does it mean?
I told them Kerry and Leslie couldn't do it. They didn't listen to me. They don't win themselves this fantastic electric chess set. Each.
Did that really hurt?
Oh, yes.
Did it? I tell you what, you can have the medal. There you go. Right, and here's the final round. So who's going to go away with the jackpot prizes on today's Globo Loco? Will it be the boys? Yeah! Or will it be the girls? Let's find out as we play.
Oh, what is it? It's, the memory game.
This is the memory game where we test the human powers of recall. And on the spot today, Dad, who have you got in your van?
They're both from Enfield. They're both models. They're both 23. What a coincidence. It's twin lovelies, Kelly and Stacey Franklin. Good stuff. Good luck with this. Here is what the twins have to do. They need to memorise 12 random objects that will soon appear on the Globo Loco globules. You may think it's easy, but it's not, because they are going to be against the clock, and they only have 30 seconds. So, Dad, how many will the girls remember in those 30? Well, they're twins, you see. They've got this HRT thing where they know what each other thinks, so I reckon she'll get 6, the other one will get 6, total 11.
Whilst the teams are making up their mind on how many they think the girls will remember, let's find out what the winning team will go away with today. Dad, what's up for grabs?
How about a set of Motorola talkie-walkies and a big, hairy, three-wheeled scooter each?
Their top prizes. Right, we tossed a coin earlier on and the girls won the toss, so the girls get to pick first. Remember, ladies, whoever is closest to the number of items memorised will win the prizes. How many do you think?
We're going to say 9.
You're going to say 9. It's quite high, but there is 2 of them. Boys, what do you think?
10.
You think 10? You're going to go higher?
Yeah.
OK. What do you think at home? How many will the twins memorise? Let's find out as we play the memory game. OK, ladies, start memorising as soon as your big blindfold is removed.
OK, twins. Start remembering.
Here we go.
So there's a lollipop, a house, a ruby ring, flip-flops, don't forget the elephant, and the drum, the chair, the book, some newspapers, a torch, a unicycle, and a ship. Keep them in your mind.
Time's up! Rotate the twins!
Oh, their minds working overtime. Good luck, ladies. Your 30 seconds of total or not so total recall start now.
House, ring, elephant, flip-flop, drum chair, newspapers, torch, ship, lollipop, book, unicycle.
You guys have done it all, 12 of them! Wow! In just 9 seconds. I tell you what, congratulations to you and well done to the boys. They've got all the prizes. Come on, guys. You have got a lot. Everything is going home with you. 9 seconds? Unbelievable! That's your lot for today. I'm sorry, it's all over, but we'll see you again soon. For more crazy challenges back in the Mad Mad World of Globo Loco.
hopefully it won't be too long before we see you again. Don't be so. But anyway, best of luck.
Right, thank you very much.
Take
Thanks.
care. Bye.
Bye.
You may remember, Sarah, from Monday, earlier on in the week, when we actually met you for the first time, you walked.
Yeah.
For the first time, so, and you're actually, I noticed you're up and about on your feet a lot already. Sarah spent 6 weeks having to lay absolutely still on her back because?
Because I'd sort of crushed a fracture and crushed a bone and broken it. Sort of.
In your back?
Yeah.
And you were really, really bored, weren't you?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
There were people were helping you out, weren't you, bringing bits and pieces?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you as well, I heard this great story about when, and this will sound weird until you actually hear the end of it, that when they took you into hospital and you had this fracture in your spine, the doctor was doing a knee reaction test on you and getting no response, which sounds serious and not funny at all, unless you hear, why wasn't he getting a reaction?
Well, when you're riding a bike, I've got these knee and shin pads and I hadn't taken them off, so he was hitting the shin pad and not my knee.
So you're getting no response whatsoever. So you're walking about now and feeling quite strong, or how are your legs feeling at the moment?
Weak and a bit wobbly, but it's better to be upright, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to build up that strength.
Yeah.
And back on a bicycle when?
Well, as soon as possible, but I've got to be in a brace for 2 months, 2 to 3 months, and then after that, hopefully.
Well, maybe what they ought to do is start you off on something a little bit smaller like this. Perhaps maybe if we got you started on something like this. Actually, no, the reason I mentioned it is because I was chatting to a friend of mine who does a bit of mountain biking, and he was explaining how safety equipment is really, really important. And you were wearing a helmet, weren't you?
Yes, I was, and I cracked it.
Yeah, well, I said to him, Rob Warner, UK downhill mountain bike champion, is it a good idea to wear good kit? And he said, not only is it a good idea, no, he's a bit of a hero, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
You're shocked, aren't you?
Yeah.
He wanted to come down. Tell us why you wanted to come down.
Well, I've hurt myself a lot of times and there's nothing worse, is there? So come and cheer you up a bit.
And you know that you've been following Sarah's story as well, a spinal injury, and you had a similar thing, didn't you?
Yeah, I did something up the top here and lost the use of my arm for about 6 weeks, which was not in your league, but it was pretty scary.
And and that's the thing, is it worrying? Were you frightened when you first did? Well, of course, I heard that you tried to cycle into a hospital even with a broken back.
I didn't realise I'd done it.
Okay. Well, there's also, somebody's handing me some bits and pieces here, but this is really for you to do, not for me to do.
Yeah, we've got some stuff for you. Because I hear you're going to be back on your bike shortly, but
thank you very
I've got
much.
a helmet for you as well.
Wow.
So.
Thank you.
Fantastic. There is one other bit of equipment which you haven't brought along, but we're going to make sure she has.
A back protector.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think
Have to do with that?
Yeah, I think it'd be a good move now.
Certainly would, yeah.
Bit of a surprise for you, because of course he's the top man, isn't he?
Definitely.
You'll be up there in that league though soon.
Hopefully, yeah. That's where I'm aiming for.
All right. So what's the key then? How's she getting at the top lead? What's the main thing?
I don't know. I think she's got the balls for it.
Yeah, well, I think we probably all agree with you. Congratulations, thanks for coming down. Gabby, back to you.
What a girl! I know she's going to be back on her bike very, very soon. OK, let's say goodbye to the young lovers, Robert and Becky, and the love doctor, Dr. Neil. I was told to call him that. Also, our gorgeous Matthew. We've got Duncan here. We've got Kevin, the sound man. He's doing the commentary because they're playing tennis on the computer. This is what they do all day long. We've also got Drew over there, who's just falling back off to sleep. He wanted to say hello, but he's going to sleep. Please join us just after 11 o'clock news on Monday. See you then. Have a nice weekend.
Baker, tonight at 9:35 on BBC One.
Friday's live visit to City Hospital now on BBC One. Here's the way it is.
Good morning. It It is so good to be here, and welcome live to another busy day on the children's ward at Southampton General. Now, before I go on, it's Friday. It meant that Monday was the first day of the famous blue T-shirt. Actually, do you want to, Dickie, just show Mark's? Go on, show Mark's T-shirt. No, it's not too bad. But could you just help me? This is the T-shirt that Kevin, the sound man, took off this morning. Yes, it's stiff with smell. So, Kevin,
yes.
You're blushing because
Yes.
it's stiff. So could you please just go and wash that?
I'll give it to my mum, actually. She'll put it through the washer.
Disgusting that it got into that sort of state. Now, we're here on the children's ward for the whole programme today, and the children's ward is like a complete hospital in itself, with its own specialist departments. And we're going to be meeting some old friends, some new. Of course, we're going to be seeing Robert today, Friday, the 16th of April. Doctors are planning to stop Jason Randall's left leg from growing so the right one can catch up. 18-month-old Jasmine was rushed in earlier this week with suspected meningitis, the worst moment in her mother Jackie's life. Today, we find out the results of vital tests. Baby Tia May had a major operation when she weighed just a few pounds. Without it, she'd never have been able to eat. And the latest on little Justina from Lithuania today too. Now first, baby Michael, who's got a bad leg. Mum June thought that big brother Joe, who's 3, had caused it bouncing on the baby's bed, but actually, I'm utterly confused. Your mum,
yes,
you're Michael, and you're absolutely gorgeous, and we have the lovely Michael. Turn around to show everybody. Michael was meant to be going off to Australia, but he's still here.
I'm still here. I haven't gone yet.
Pleased to see you here, Michael.
Hi.
Now, can I sit down and join you here?
Sure.
Now, what happened? There's something problem with his chest, and it's now his legs. I don't understand.
No. We wondered, because it's a bacterial infection, we wondered where it had come from, and in fact we're still waiting for information to come back from the labs.
So what was the operation he had?
What, has it got a technical term?
Michael, yes.
He had an open drainage of septic arthritis of his right hip.
Right.
And so the hip joint itself was full of pus. So when he came to us, he was really very unwell. And the mum thought that his older brother may have landed on him on the bed and hurt his leg, but he obviously was getting much sicker. And he was transferred to us from Chichester. And he was really very unwell when he got here. And there were signs that...
The sign of just a bumped leg, is that what you thought?
I mean, there was no outward signs to me. It's just that I knew that when I was moving his leg to change his nappy and get him dressed, that he was obviously in pain.
Right, OK. Now, what I'm confused about is in all the notes that I was given about it. I sound like a doctor. In the notes, something had a problem with his chest.
Well, I mean, we obviously, at this point, we don't know what's caused it, but, I mean, my husband and I have been speculating as to whether he's had a chest infection and maybe it's from that. We don't know, but we're just waiting.
Is that a possibility that you can have a chest infection, it can then infect in the bone?
Absolutely. That's the commonest way that these children get infections. They're taken in through the upper respiratory airways, and then following a site of infection in the lung, then the bacteria can go off into the bloodstream.
And then affect the leg, from the chest to the leg?
Yeah. Well, the blood goes all the way around the body, and the way that the blood system works is the bacteria can pool, often in bones, where children get something called osteomyelitis, which is infection in bone, or in the lining of the hip joint, and that's what's happened in Michael's case.
Right.
And with all those bugs, the bacteria around his body, he had signs of what we call bacteremia, which is bacteria, bugs in the bloodstream, and that's why he was really quite sick when he got to us.
How's he doing now? You took
now,
the pus out?
oh, he's fantastic.
Oh, really?
Yes. There's an old surgical adage that if there's pus about, you let it out. And that comes from the last century and before. And the pus is gone and he's recovered and doing
he's
extremely
fantastic.
well.
There, your pacifier. There we are, Mummy. I think you probably want to clean that. Thank you, Michael. You're just a gem. Thank you very much. Nice to see you as well, Michael. Now, over here, we've got Claire. Can I have this? Claire, look, this just arrived for you through the post. Hello.
All right.
Hello. Excuse me. I'm going to be terribly rude. Are you Dad?
Yeah, I'm here.
I'm sorry to stand in front of you. Claire, that's for you. Just arrived in the post. I think it feels like food or something.
It's a food parcel for you, Claire. Yeah.
How are you feeling?
Fine.
What are you here for, Claire?
My hip.
Like, am I right? You chose to have the operation yourself?
Yeah.
What was the operation you had?
They fused the bone and socket together.
And how are you feeling?
Fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Look at that smile. She's fantastic. All right, well, enjoy Enjoy your parcel. She wanted us to come over and say hello. Now, and thank you for letting me stand in front of you. Now, in the papers over the last few months, we've heard a lot about meningitis. Now, that nightmare almost became reality for Jackie Lee when her baby daughter Jasmine developed a purple rash after being ill with chickenpox. Jasmine was brought in by ambulance to A&E for urgent investigations to see what was causing the rash. The following day, Edwina went to see how Jasmine was doing.
Well, it's every parent's worst nightmare. So, Jackie, talk us through what's been going on with lovely, lovely Jasmine here.
Right, well, first of all, she came out with chickenpox spots, and they started to get worse, and they went into big red blobs. So I took her down the doctor's on Saturday evening, and he said it was hives, which she's had once before, but really mildly. When I got up the next morning, it had turned purple. She had big purple blotches across her stomach and her back.
You must have been very worried that night.
I was petrified.
Of course you are.
It was horrible. It was the worst. I can't explain it to anyone. Nobody could understand, not unless they've been through it themselves.
What it was like?
What it was like. It was just awful.
And so then what happened after that?
As soon as I saw the purple blotches on her, I phoned the GP up. And as soon as I mentioned about the purple blotches, he said to press them. And did they fade? And I said, well, no, they don't fade. And he said, right, I'll get an ambulance straight out to you.
So you did some tests at home. How did the test work? What was the test you did exactly?
He just told me to press down on the blotches, which are fading rather nicely now.
Thankfully.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
To press down on them, and they didn't go away. They stayed dark purple instead of fading.
Right, because they can suggest that you do that with a glass sometimes, can't they?
That's right, yeah.
And so then the ambulance turned up?
The ambulance turned up, yeah.
Your little baby in an ambulance.
Yeah, it was horrible.
So what happened when she was brought into hospital?
They put her onto antibiotics. It's actually beginning to... It's more like a big bruise.
Yes, I can see.
Now.
I can see that it must have been very purple there.
But she was just smothered. In it.
Was she in pain or was she discomforted?
She was. She's not herself, but she wasn't really poorly. She hasn't been acting like she's still eating, which is good, and she still wants to play on the floor with her toys.
That must be a good sign.
But she's not 100%. She's not the normal Jasmine.
No. And what next? Do you know exactly?
Well, we thought that she was going to be going home tomorrow, but we've had some blood results back that said there is a little bit of bacteria in her bloodstream, which could be caused from the chickenpox or from an ear infection, throat infection, which I myself have just got over a throat infection, so it could even be that.
Anything like that?
Yeah, so they just want to put more antibiotics through her, clear her right out before they want to let her home.
Oh, well, you must be relieved in ways and just waiting for the results of the tests and the antibiotics. To see
I am, yeah. In one way, I'm glad to be here because I feel safe.
Of course.
Being around the doctors, it makes me feel safe. But in another way, I just can't wait to get my baby home.
I'm sure you can't wait to take your baby home. She's such a beautiful baby. And I'm sure she'll be home soon, won't she?
Yeah.
Oh, Jackie, well, thank you very much for letting us talk to you.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely gorgeous.
I know.
Thank heavens Jackie knows Jasmine's life is now out of danger. And later in the programme, we're going to be seeing them again and the results of the tests as to what caused that rash. And we'll have advice for all mums about rashes and how to tell when they're worth worrying about. Matthew, you're on telly now. You wanted to be on telly.
Yes.
OK, now why are you in hospital?
Because I had an operation.
Yeah, you don't need to hold it. He wanted to know whether he had to hold the microphone so everyone could hear him. You don't need to hold it, it's OK. So, what was your operation?
So, because they were sticking, my feet were sticking out like that.
Yeah.
Instead of, they were sticking out like that.
Yeah.
Instead of going in.
Right, so what have they done?
So they cut my legs.
Yeah.
And they twisted them.
Yeah.
So, and then had some plaster on.
Yeah.
There, all the way down to there.
Yeah.
And then I took off on Monday about 3 or 5 weeks ago. I can't remember now. I think it's about 3 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
ago.
And then now you've got the splints on.
Yeah.
And you can we have? I think we need a close up on view of splints because they are very smart. You've got helicopters, you've got look, and there's the Grand Prix flag. Fantastic. Formula One, and there's a helicopter and there's trucks. So, and how are you walking now? Is it okay?
Yeah.
What do you want to show me? Go on. Look at you. There's a very proud dad over there as well.
Yeah.
Smiling on, looking very, very proud of his son. Go on, look at you. Fantastic, Matthew. You're a real star. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Now, 15-year-old Jason Randall has had a hard few months. He was born with one leg shorter than the other, and last year he had surgery to lengthen it, a long and uncomfortable process. But that isn't the end of it. He's had a growth spurt, and his good leg is growing too fast, so the other leg can't catch up. Yvette went to see Jason and find out what the doctors were planning to do.
Here he is, Jason Randall, and his mum Donna. How are you?
We're fine, thank you.
How are you, Jason?
Fine.
Now, I did see you a while ago, didn't I? And
Yeah.
it was because, now let me remember which leg it was. I think it was... Give me a clue there. This leg here. That's right. And you had, I think, is it fixator?
External fixator.
And just explain, Donna, what was the problem with this leg?
The external fixator was to give him 4 centimetres on his leg, because it was 4 centimetres shorter than this leg.
Right, let's have a look at the leg. And this is after the fixator obviously has come out. He's left that scar
The
there.
scars here, and because he had 5 actual pins in his leg.
And how does it feel now?
Feels fine.
Yeah? That's good. Now, you're a keen footballer and you were desperate
Yeah.
to get back into playing football, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're playing it now. But you're back in, and this was unexpected, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Because of this leg?
Mm-hmm.
So what's wrong with this one?
This one seems to, when the operation was finished, the legs seemed to be the same. But now he's had a scan and it's actually 3.5 centimetres still shorter than this leg. This leg seems to be growing a lot faster than it was expected.
Right.
So we're here today to remove the growth plate out of this leg, which will slow down his growth rate in this leg by 25% to give this leg a chance to gain 1.5 centimetres.
Because that was a problem, wasn't it,
Yes, it
initially?
was, yes.
This leg here wasn't
Yes.
growing quick
But
enough
they've done
to
all
catch
they
up
can
with
for this leg, like at the
by
present
sort of the
time.
fixator was
Yeah,
sort of stretching it, wasn't it? So they're going to do that? When they're going to do that then?
This afternoon.
And you're not nervous about anything, are you? So laid back. Not nervous at all.
No.
Another week off school.
Yeah. You weren't bothered about this, were you, at all?
No.
But you were, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Why?
It's my little boy.
And look who I'm here with. Now, Robert, I have to tell you, after the show, I travelled up to Scotland.
Yeah.
And I've been all over the place this week, and all everybody has said to me is about you. They absolutely adore you. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Robert! You see, the whole country is cheering you. It's incredible, you've just become this national figure.
Oui.
It's true, and they all love the fact that you were giggling madly on Monday.
Oh, right.
And you made me promise I won't make you laugh again. Now, everybody wants to know one thing and one thing alone. Okay,
Mhm.
first of all, how are you doing? Really, how are you doing? They
Not
want to
too
know.
bad. I mean, I could be better by a long way, but it just can't happen at the moment.
It's a slow process.
Very slow process.
But everything, you're really on the ball, because remember you had problems with your memory before. You're really on the ball.
Mm.
Now, how's your memory? Because who's this girl that you've been talking to me about?
All right.
Is that
Just
anything-
while I still remember, hi, Becky.
Oh, is it Becky?
Yeah.
Well, is that anything to do with this? Look.
Yeah.
Hello, Becky. So who is Becky? Is she your
Becky
girlfriend?
is, yeah, she is actually.
She's your girlfriend? How come you didn't tell me about this? It's fantastic.
Well, I didn't tell you about this because it'd be announced on British Broadcasting TV.
Well, Robert, we're still doing it on British Broadcasting
I know,
TV. They're all
I know,
listening.
But what the hell?
So, how old is she?
About saying, I think she's a year older than me.
And where did you meet her?
But Bursaldon.
Now, that's the halfway house. That's after going from hospital to go to
I'm giving away
Bursaldon.
the whole story now.
Yeah, go on, tell me. Are you in love?
No. What?
Are you in love?
Could be.
Yeah, I think you are.
Yeah.
She's very beautiful. You want to say hello to her again? Go on, say hello.
Hello again, Lex.
Actually, I'll tell you, I've got a much better idea. If somebody pulls that curtain back over there, go on, pull the curtain back. Look who's here!
Hello!
Hi, Becky.
Hi, yeah.
This is your girlfriend. Becky,
It
we're-
is.
the whole
Hiya.
world has wanted to see you. Go on, you don't know what to say to each other now.
Hi.
Hi. That is so low. Yeah, don't bang your head. Do you want to sit on the end of the bed? Yeah, sit on the end of the bed there. Hey, Becky, this is fantastic. As I said, everybody's been wanting to know all about who Robert's girlfriend is. So when did you meet? How long have you been going out?
About 4 weeks, 5 weeks.
Yeah, about then.
Yeah.
This is really lovely. And he's actually got a poem for you as well. Go on, you read the poem. Go on.
And she walks before me, her heart pure as gold, melting the ice in the freezing cold. Now she is leaving, I cannot stop grieving, but we will be together again, together forever, in everlasting love. With all of my heart I love her, but now we are drawn apart. But as far as we may be, I can see that our love will go on and on, far into the future. As far as into the future as we may go together, I will always know her absolute beauty. And as from the day we met to the day we part, I will love her from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you so much.
Isn't that fabulous? Do you know, I can't get over that. Nobody's ever written me a poem quite like that before. Becky, isn't this lovely?
It's beautiful.
Really special. And you actually, is that Look at this. I don't want to get in. I feel like a bit of a gooseberry saying that she's very special. Now, actually, Nick, Bursledon House, which is where you both met. Now, you were in for ME, is that right?
Yeah, 7 months I've been there.
And how are you doing?
I'm slowly getting better. I'm making progress. I've started going to a school now, so I'm there an hour a day.
Good for you. All right, well, Nick's actually there with some of the others. Nick, are you there?
Indeed, I was just wondering, actually, whether he picked up any of his poetry skills whilst he was over here in the classroom. I'm actually in the classroom. You'd think, wouldn't you, that if you were ill, you'd actually get some time away from schoolwork, but no, it seems you don't. Even here in Bursledon House, you have to get on with your lessons. This is Joe, who's... what are you doing at the moment, Joe?
Verbs and nouns.
Verbs and nouns. I never quite picked that up myself. I think I missed that lesson. As everybody at home listening will know, we get letters occasionally about how I actually obviously don't know them. What's it like being here then at school, compared to normal schools?
It's better than my normal school.
Is it? Why's that?
Because I don't get on much with the other pupils.
Don't you? The boys were a bit rough, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's boys for you. Boys, eh? OK, let's meet some of the other people along here. This is Melinda. What are you working on at the moment?
Economics.
Oh, good grief. I didn't actually do that one either. Lacking in education. So what's it like being at school here and working here?
It's hard to explain, really, because you do a lot of the stuff by yourself. You do get help by the teachers.
It's quite tough, I should imagine. It's different, isn't it?
Yeah.
Very odd and different. So a quick word with Fran here. Fran's obviously maths.
Yeah.
That's at least I recognised it. So do you like it particularly here, or do you find it difficult?
It's not too bad. It's a bit difficult with like foreign subjects, like I do German, and there's like not many teachers that can help me with that, so that's a bit difficult. But it's not too bad.
Okay, and does your illness... Oh, maybe I'll ask this. Ask Claire. Does your illness actually make it difficult to continue studying?
Yeah, it's hard to concentrate.
It is. But the teachers are pretty good here, aren't they?
Yes.
Right, let's have a quick word with the teacher, because I want to have a word. You go around that way, I'll come all the way around this way, because it must actually be the most complex, probably, the most complex type of teaching, I should imagine, with so many different subjects and so many different age groups.
Yes, this is true. Our staff have to be very, very flexible. They're a very talented bunch, all have expertise in different areas, but we also are very grateful for help from the children's own schools and colleges to continue the curriculum.
So that's how it works. Oh, well, it's a fantastic group of people. Look at them all working away. The quietest classroom I've ever been. I bet they're not normally like this. There is one quick thing I want to whiz around. Go around the other side there. Take a look at the fingernails here. Show us your fingernails there. Different colour fingernails. Over the back. Go back over to Fran. Fran's responsible for all these fingernails. Move along one to Melinda. Have a look at Melinda's. And I want to include Becky at the end. One last one over here. Look, show us yours, because yours are the most complicated I've seen. Show the camera. Oh, not quite that close. Hang on. Look at those colours. It's a fashion riot up here.
It's looking good, though. We like that. Now, do you see all your friends? You were saying the whole time that was your seat and...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy yourself at Bursledon House?
Oh, yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
While it lasted.
Yeah. You'll be back there. I've got to leave you now, but I'll leave the two of you to talk. Get acquainted. Is this your mum? Yeah. Hello, Mum. Hello. How are you doing?
I'm very well.
Oh, isn't it lovely? Young love.
Yes, I know.
There's Robert's mum hiding behind the curtain. Everyone's loving this romance through here. Look at that. She's giving us some flowers. Look, some flowers over there. Oh, So lovely. Now more romance out here. Chris Reed. Sister Chris. Hello. Ben. Hello, Ben. It's your son, Ben? Yeah. No, he's shy. And look at all the nurses, because, in fact, Chris, who we met on the last series when we saw Ben doing his nativity as Joseph, you're getting married tomorrow?
Yep.
How are you feeling?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Tired, nervous.
Don't be.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah?
Looking forward to it.
Is everything ready?
Just about, yeah.
You got the dress?
Oh, yeah, that's all there.
And
got all the suits yet, but that'll be sorted tomorrow.
You want what?
I want my crispy.
Do you? You can have your crispy.
You can have his crispy. No, where are his crispies?
They're in my handbag over
Okay, let's
there.
have Mummy's handbag. Of course she can have his crispies now. You're going to be best man tomorrow, aren't you? Do you know what you're wearing?
You're wearing posh waistcoat.
You know what you're wearing?
waistcoat.
A waistcoat. Very nice. Well, look, Chris, she's showing all the hen night photos. I'm going to see those after the programme. If there are any good ones, I will show them to you on Monday. There, he's happy now. He's got his crispies. Look, good luck tomorrow.
Thank you
and I know there's more. Sarah over there. Yeah. Sarah's getting married soon, and she's going to be at the wedding. Oh, it's...
And can we just say happy anniversary to Serena, because she got married this time last year, so it's her anniversary this weekend.
See, love is in the air. It's spring. Happy anniversary. Good luck to you, and best of luck to you from everybody on City Hospital. Now, all through the week, we've been following the story of 2-year-old Justina, who was brought over from Lithuania for urgent life-saving heart surgery here at Southampton General. It's been a difficult time for Justina's mother, Odetta, travelling thousands of miles alone with her child for an operation to save her daughter's life. But that surgery to replace a missing artery to her lung has been a great success. And I have to say, everyone is delighted the operation's gone so well. And now Odetta and Justina are finally on their way home, and they invited us to go along with them.
17 days after arriving in England, little Justina and her mum are finally heading home, with bags bulging after some last-minute shopping for presents. And there are things they'll be leaving behind, like newfound friends.
Get it. Thank you. So, wait, present.
Take care.
For Justina, soon the strange wards and corridors of the General will be forgotten as she embarks on a 1,500-mile journey back to her own world of familiar words and familiar family faces. But for Mum, there's one last problem, and unfortunately it's a big one. Elephant-sized, in fact. A toy slide bought for Justina by her grandmother, paid for with a month's pension. And Justina isn't budging until they put it on the plane. Which thankfully, after a little negotiation, they agreed to make special arrangements for. On the plane, Justina and Odetta taste food other than hospital food for the first time in more than 2 weeks. And Justina doesn't forget the Lithuanian lucky charm that's brought her so much good fortune throughout her ordeal. It's night time when they touch down in the Lithuanian capital of Vilnius after a 2.5-hour flight. But at last they and that elephant are home. For Justina's father, a moment he thought he may never see. After the strain of the last few weeks, at last there's something to celebrate. Then it's time to go to the family home on the outskirts of Vilnius. The flat is small but comfortable, with just enough space for an elephant slide. And Justina isn't about to wait 1 second longer for a go on it. The family live on the 5th floor of an apartment block in Trakai, about 20 miles out of Vilnius. There are no lifts and space is at a premium, but the views can be pretty spectacular. However, Justina's dad only has eyes for his little girl.
Is so happy to see her looking so well. She is just so happy to be in her own home. She seems so much fitter since the operation. It's very special what the doctors have done. I cannot say thank you enough. I'll always remember my visit to Southampton. Thank you.
That was absolutely wonderful. I was so looking forward to seeing that piece of film. Ah, very special. Great to see her looking so well. Now, earlier on, we heard of panicked moments for Jackie when she brought Jasmine into hospital earlier this week with suspected meningitis, but thankfully there was no sign of the disease. So what caused that dreadful rash? We've also got lovely Dr. Neil, who looks after our friend Robert as well. So the world will love you for that. What actually caused the rash? Do you know now, Mum?
It was hives.
Oh, but
yeah.
I presume they were much happy that you brought the baby in, just in case.
Yeah, I mean, with a rash like that, I think it's advisable that, you know, you should go to the hospital, at least have a GP come and see the rash. So.
And at least your nightmare's over.
Oh, yeah.
And she's well.
Yeah, she's perfect. Not a mark on her at all.
She is perfect.
Yeah.
I have to say, she's absolutely gorgeous. Let's go through it again. We have heard it before. I think it's really important again and again and again. It's not just babies, though, is it? It's teenagers. We keep hearing about it in the news, meningitis. What are the signs we look for? Top tips, please.
Well, you're right, meningitis does affect people across the age range, from babies right up into old age. It is something that presents in a very sort of non-specific way with just general signs of illness in babies.
But it's quite, am I right, it's quite rare? It's not...
It is rare.
Everyone gets very panicky
rare.
about it.
The severe form of meningococcal disease, that's the disease that causes the rash that gave concern for Jasmine, perhaps occurs 50 times a year in our region. That's the sort of 3 million people that are in range of Southampton General.
And the whole of the country, it's not a reason to... We don't want everybody going into suddenly panicking madly.
That's true.
Signs to look for?
Well, the rash is obviously the sign that brings you quickest to the diagnosis.
And that's the one with the glass, isn't it?
Yes, it's a rash that looks like bleeding under the skin.
Right.
And if you press a glass over that rash, unlike other causes of redness in the skin, the rash stays there, so you can see the bleeding through the glass, and that is the first.
And then another one thing to look for?
Well, children, in children certainly, it's their condition changing very rapidly, and they become drowsy, unwell, they may be off their feeds, vomiting. In older children and adults, they develop neck stiffness, they're unkeen to look at the light.
And can we just stress, because I think people are terrified, a lovely lady the other day who hurt her hip and she was scared to come into hospital or call a doctor. Call the doctor, get into hospital.
Absolutely. I mean, obviously there has to be a balance between worrying unnecessarily, but if you are worried and you see those signs, particularly with the rash, then do consult.
So Jackie did the right thing?
She did, very much so.
Okay.
Very
All
much
right.
so.
Thank you both very much. We learnt a lot from that. Thank you very much. Now, just before Christmas, we met a tiny baby called TMA, who was going to be in hospital for some time. TMA was born prematurely with a rare condition. Her esophagus stopped before it reached her stomach, so she couldn't feed or even swallow her own saliva. Surgeons wanted to wait until she was at least 5 pounds before they attempted to operate. In the meantime, a special feeding tube was keeping her alive. Now, the operation finally went ahead in February, but TMA was still fighting to survive. Her mum, Sue, made us a video diary about her long wait to take her baby home.
She was born so early that I just didn't think she'd pull through. She was just this tiny little thing with loads and loads of tubes on and wires and all sorts. And she just looked, you know, so small. She just had a little bonnet on, that was it, and this nappy that swamped her. They found out what problem she had, and although it wasn't fatal, you know, they wanted to wait to see if the gap that she had would close, get smaller as she got bigger. The operation went quite smoothly, but afterwards she was very, very ill and took a long time to get off the ventilator, and they were quite concerned about her, and there was a time through that 2 weeks that I thought again that she was going to die. I didn't handle it at all well, and I stopped visiting for a while, which probably people would think that's a terrible thing to do, but I couldn't face, if she was going to die, I couldn't face sort of seeing her like that for the last time, and that, you know, was going to be... I'm going to get emotional now. She was really, really poorly, and then it just seemed, I don't know, on the Tuesday she was really bad, and then I didn't go in, and then I went in on the Thursday, or I think Murray went in on the Thursday, and she was off the ventilator and she just had little prongs up her nose, and then the following day she was off the prongs, and it was just like she got picked up really, really quickly. We had to start introducing her to oral feeds. TMA's 4.5 months old today. It's the first time I'm going to actually have fed her myself through a bottle, and I'm extremely excited about it because it's today, if she takes the milk, it'll be closer to her coming home. The sooner she starts taking bottles, the sooner she gets home. I actually wanted, originally, when I was having a normal baby and everything, I wanted to breastfeed, so obviously that couldn't be, and the next best thing is feeding, and I've never fed a baby properly before. Do I just do a little bit at a time? And yeah.
Good girl.
When we were told that we could leave Southampton and go to Salisbury, it was brilliant to hear. I was really, really excited, but it was a bit daunting really, because I'd been there for nearly 5 months and I had, you know, nurses behind me throughout the whole thing. So the first bottle and everything else I was doing, I had support, and I could turn around and say, you know, am I doing this right, or can you tell me? And the thought of coming home and not having them there was a bit scary. And I mean, they've been her life really. They've been TMA's life for 5 months.
Bye, Tia. Okay, good.
When I got to Salisbury, I was originally told I'd only have to be there probably 24 hours for them to get to know Tia and get the pump that I was having to come home with. I ended up having to be there 5 days. We were told we could go home, and coming home with TMA was just fantastic. A sigh of relief that we got home.
Yeah, girlie, home at last. Good girlie. You lost your socks. Where are your socks? Hey, you're home. Now, TMA, look, your room. What do you think? All your toys? Hey, did you like it? Hope so. Spent ages doing all this. There you go, in your very own little bed. No more hospital beds for you, my lovey.
Look, and this is lovely TMA here with Mum and Dad, looking absolutely lovely, fast asleep and very happy. Now, I actually grabbed you because they were going in that direction for her test. And thank you, because we just wanted to have a quick look. And you're going to pop along for the test, and can I come and join you?
Yep, sure.
You're quite happy about that?
Yeah, that's fine.
Lovely. I know you've got to go that way. I'll see you later.
Thank you.
See you later.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Such a nice couple. Now, back to 15-year-old Jason Randall. He has one leg that's growing too fast to keep up with the other. So surgeon Nicholas Clark has decided to remove the growth plate within the bone of his good leg.
We're performing this operation because there is a residual discrepancy in the leg lengths that has occurred after we've lengthened Jason's tibia. Now, from charts and growth charts, we know that he has approximately 1.5 or 2 centimetres of growth remaining at the growing zone by the knee. And therefore, if we stop the growth now, we should obtain leg length symmetry by the time he stops growing altogether. And we're going to do this by scraping out the growth zone through a small incision by the knee.
There are 4 growth areas in each leg, and consultant Nick Clark has decided to remove the one close to Jason's knee.
We've made a little stab, and then I have put a little drill under the X-ray, and you can see on the X-ray where the drill is now sitting. That hole we enlarge, and then scrape out the white gristle, which is the growing cartilage.
Yeah, different passes, as you've seen. And we'll go with a bigger drill. And I'll show you what comes out in a minute, if you can.
And you can see on this specimen here the white gristle between the bone that we've removed.
By Nick Clark's calculations, after all this growth cartilage has been removed, Jason's longest leg should grow at a slow enough pace to allow the short one to catch up.
It's not an exact science, and Therefore, you have to keep very close observation on these children who've undergone this surgery or who are going to need the surgery, because it depends on all sorts of calculations and growth charts. Once we've done one side, we simply repeat the procedure on the other side, and it's exactly the same. Hopefully, Jason will mobilise quite quickly and go home within a day or so.
Now that was a couple of weeks ago, and Yvette will be seeing how Jason's been progressing later on in the programme. Now, we just saw them. They said it was fine for us to come along. We've got baby Tia May, Mum and Dad, and Dr. Lisa.
Yes.
OK, so, gosh, you whipped her clothes off quickly, I have to say.
This is really good.
Oh, look, she's awake now as well, little soul. OK, now, the operation, we can still see there. Is that where she's fed through? Sorry, would you like to step forward? Because you're the lady that knows, Dr. Lisa.
Yes,
How's
she's
it all
doing
work?
really well.
Yeah.
I just weighed her, and she's gaining weight. This is her growth chart, which shows a nice upward trend in her weight gain, and so that's really pleased.
That's, I presume, the best news.
That is the best news.
OK. Now, how's her swallowing? Because as a baby in the womb, she couldn't swallow. And now, you're feeding her, are you, through her mouth?
Yeah, only 30 ml a day. She's not taking very much. She's spending 95% of the time on a pump, which goes...
That's what that is, yes.
But she is taking a little bit, sort of, in orally.
Does she know how to swallow? Because I presume she has to now learn how to swallow, because she's never done it.
Yes. This isn't something that's totally unexpected. If you would remember, Tia May's very premature. She was born about 12 weeks early, so that in itself is a problem.
I remember she was weak.
Second thing is that she was virtually not able to swallow for about 4 months, and therefore she still has to learn how to swallow, how to suck, and how to coordinate this. So that's not very
So this is something
unexpected.
that comes naturally to a baby in the womb, but she's never had any of that?
Sure, yes.
OK. Now, what did you do in the operation?
Well, the operation, which was actually her third operation, involved actually pulling up the stomach and bringing it to her neck so that we could join it with a blind ending gullet.
From here? You took it up to here?
Yes. Her stomach actually now lies in a space somewhere between the breastbone and the heart. And it's now joined to her gullet, which is in the neck.
So why did you have to bring it up?
Well, because the gullet didn't form properly, you would remember. It ended somewhere very low down in the neck, almost in the chest cavity, and her stomach was here. So there was quite a long gap, which we had to bridge.
So you had to physically bring that up?
Yes, we had to.
Oh, that's clever. So what does it mean for her as she grows up?
Well, you can see this yellow tube, which is a means by which we could feed her. She's still not swallowing brilliantly, and therefore, if we only have to rely on the oral route, she wouldn't gain weight. She still has to rely on this little tube for her feeds, and mother has to still use it for about 18 hours.
But what about the future hold? What does the future hold for her?
I'm sure it would be good. I'm sure she would learn how to swallow, and hopefully we could get that tube out.
But you were saying something very funny. I mean, we you know, about it. You were very jealous of your daughter, weren't you?
She's never going to get fat.
That's extraordinary, isn't it?
She won't know. So, yeah, I'm going to be extremely jealous of her when she gets older.
It doesn't matter how much chocolate she eats. Oh, that's wonderful.
Small amounts at a time. She'll never eat a big meal.
Oh, well, listen, one day you'll be delighted about that, but she's still going to be very healthy. She'll be able to have lots of meals, little small. Yeah, that's what they say. It's very healthy, you see. So how are you feeling about all of this now?
Much better. Yeah, we're much happier now she's home. I mean, she's only been home 3 weeks, but it's just lovely to have her really with us now after 5 months. And although the feeding is taking a long time, I mean, I know we'll get there eventually.
Of course you will.
It's just a big tie to be tied to a pump 18 hours a day.
Of course it is.
But it's
well,
lovely
thank you, and you're a great couple. It's been so nice to have met you. Nice to see you again. And thank you very much, Dr. Lisa. Now back to Jason Randall, who's down in the fracture clinic. She's got my hat.
Hello, Donna. Hello, Jason. How are you?
Okay.
Yeah, up and about, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Go on then, let's have a look at your knee. What have we done now?
We've had the stitches and the dressing off just a minute ago, so we're going to go and see Mr. Clark in a minute. And
So is that where one of the stitches was? That tiny little...
Yeah.
Gosh, it's small, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So how's it feeling? Is it painful? Is it okay?
No, it don't hurt.
Nothing?
No.
So you're here to see, as you say, Mr. Clark. And what's he going to say?
Hopefully he'll just have a look and we'll be able to go home and see how it goes.
What about the other leg?
Well, he'll probably keep progress on that leg. We'll have to keep coming back for that leg.
Coming back. And are you walking okay?
Yeah, you can see it.
Oh, God, look at his face. Yeah, go on then. Hey, pretty good. You can come back. back now. That's good. That's really good. Listen, I'm going to leave you to it because I know you've got to go in and see Mr. Clark now. So good luck. And I'll tell you what, I'll wait outside and see what he says
Right,
afterwards.
thank you.
All right.
Thanks.
See ya.
Bye.
Hello. Right. So, how's it been?
Okay.
I think we need to get you lying down a bit. Can we just lie you down a bit further? That's it. Down there. Back you go.
It's a bit swollen, isn't it? Don't you think? Or is
It is actually. But, I mean, we would expect a bit of swelling after all this. How's it? Is it comfortable?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah?
Yep.
I was just quite surprised how big it was.
No, I mean, you always get a bit of fluid in the knee after this because it's very close to the knee joint. Right, can you bend it up? Right the way up? It's not bad, is it?
Yeah.
And down again? Lovely. Right, now what are you using? Crutches, aren't you?
Yeah.
I'm just working out his, this is a rather inexact way of measuring leg length. But that's what we're trying to sort out. Right, well, it's a question of waiting now.
See what happens.
Yeah. He should use the crutches for another 2 weeks and carry on bending the knee. Can you go swimming?
You can now, bandage.
Right.
Yeah.
Go swimming and try and exercise the knee.
Yeah.
I'll see you again in 2 weeks' time with an X-ray.
Right.
And then it's a question of waiting to see how that appears in terms of the growth. So you know that potentially there's about 2 centimetres of growth that we've stopped.
Right.
So at best, this leg should be exactly the same as that leg by the time you stop growing. We'll just cross our fingers, shall we?
Yeah.
He says. You know Jason, don't you?
All right?
Yeah.
So I'll see you in 2 weeks. But take it easy and keep on that. You keep on the crutches. If it's really good, you can use one crutch in the other hand. Okay?
All right. Yes, thank you.
How did it go?
It's okay. We've got to come back in 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
2 weeks
For
for an
what?
X-ray.
All right.
Just to make sure that everything's okay.
Great.
So he's on his crutches for the 2 weeks, but he's been told him to go swimming, for physio exercise.
That'd be
swimming.
good. So it's
he likes
looking good
swimming
then,
anyway,
Jason,
so-
yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Just a case of keeping an eye on it now.
But he's not going to have to come into hospital for a while or anything
No,
like that.
hopefully no.
Well, listen, I'll let you get dressed in peace, and hopefully it won't be too long before we see you again.
Yes.
Don't be so. But anyway, best of luck.
Right, thank you very much.
Take
Thanks.
care. Bye.
Bye.
You may remember, Sarah, from Monday, earlier on in the week, when we actually met you for the first time, you walked for the first time. So, and you're actually, I noticed you're up and about on your feet a lot already. Sarah spent 6 weeks having to lay absolutely still on her back because?
Because I sort of crushed a fracture and crushed a bone and broken it. Sort of.
In your back?
Yeah.
And you were really, really bored, weren't you?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
There were people who were helping you out, weren't you, bringing bits and pieces?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you as well, I heard this great story about when, and this will sound weird until you actually hear the end of it, that when they took you into hospital and you had this fracture in your spine, the doctor was doing a knee reaction test on you and getting no response, which sounds serious and not funny at all, unless you hear, why wasn't he getting a reaction?
Well, when you're riding a bike, I've got these knee and shin pads and I hadn't taken them off, so it was hitting the shin pad and not my knee.
So getting no response whatsoever. So you're walking about now and feeling quite strong, or how are your legs feeling at the moment?
Weak and a bit wobbly, but it's better to be upright, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
So you're going to have to build up that strength.
Yeah.
And back on a bicycle when?
Well, as soon as possible, but I've got to be in a brace for 2 months, 2 to 3 months, and then after that, hopefully.
Well, maybe what they ought to do is start you off on something a little bit smaller like this. Perhaps maybe if we got you started on something like this. Actually, the reason I mentioned it is because I was chatting to a friend of mine who does a bit of mountain biking, and he was explaining how safety equipment is really, really important. And you were wearing a helmet, weren't you?
Yes, I was, and I cracked it.
Yeah, well, I said to him, Rob Warner, UK downhill mountain bike champion, is it a good idea to wear good kit? And of course he said, not only is it a good idea, no, he's a bit of a hero, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
You're shocked, aren't you?
Yeah.
He wanted to come down. Tell us why you wanted to come down.
Well, I've hurt myself a lot of times, and there's nothing worse, is there? So, come and cheer you up a bit.
And you know that you've been following Sarah's story as well, a spinal injury, and you had a similar thing, didn't you?
Yeah, I did something up the top here and lost the use of my arm for about 6 weeks, which was not in your league, but it was pretty scary.
And and that's the thing, is it worrying? Were you frightened when you first did? Well, of course, I heard that you tried to cycle into a hospital even with a broken back.
I didn't realise I'd done it.
Okay. Well, there's also, somebody's handing me some bits and pieces here, but this is really for you to do, not for me to do.
Yeah, we've got some stuff for you. Because I hear you're going to be back on your bike shortly, look.
Thank you very
I've
much.
got a helmet for you as well.
Wow.
So.
Thank you.
Fantastic. There is one other bit of equipment which you haven't brought along, but we're going to make sure she has.
A back protector.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think I
Do with that?
Yeah. I think it'd be a good move now.
Certainly would, yeah.
Bit of a surprise for you, because of course he's the top man, isn't he?
Definitely.
You're going to be up there in that league though soon.
Hopefully, yeah. That's where I'm aiming for.
All right. So what's the key then? How's she going to get in the top lead? What's the main thing?
I don't know. I think she's got the balls for it.
Yeah, well, I think we probably all agree with you. Congratulations, thanks for coming down. It's Gabby, back to you.
What a girl! I know she's going to be back on her bike very, very soon. OK, let's say goodbye to the young lovers, Robert and Becky, and the love doctor, Dr. Neil. I was told to call him that. Also, our gorgeous Matthew. We've got Duncan here. We've got Kevin, the sound man. He's doing the commentary because they're playing tennis on the computer. This is what they do all day long. We've also got Drew over there, who's just falling back off to sleep. He wanted to say hello, but he's going to sleep. Please join us just after 11 o'clock news on Monday. See you then. Have a nice weekend.
Ready.
Makes it look all so easy. They never taught me that in school. But they say that mountain biking is now going to be an Olympic sport in 1996. So it's been taken a lot more seriously. But we're going to see a bit of VT now of all the preparation that is most important. And I believe Sean Rogers takes up our story.
The South Coast resort of Brighton is one of the best-known tourism and conference venues in the country, with attractions like the Royal Pavilion making it popular since Victorian days. It's a visitor's delight with a wide range of restaurants, shopping treats and entertainments. But it's also the location for a multitude of sports events. And this week, for the first time, Brighton hosts a round of the British Mountain Bike Federation's National Series out at the beautiful venue of Stanmore Park. Competitors arrive from all over Britain for this event, with the series catering for a wide range of talents from amateur to full-time professionals. There are fun classes, youths and juniors, right the way up to the Super Masters class for 55-year-olds and over, proving that mountain biking is a sport for all. 19 different categories for both men and women will be staged, and in all, around 750 competitors are expected. Race controller Stuart Sidebottom explains the importance of the event.
The British Mountain Bike Federation are running the National Points Series, which has 6 rounds. This is round 5, and the next one is further up in the north of England. It's very important at this stage because most of the riders are looking for their potential. They're looking to see where they are in the series. Many of them will have done most of the rounds, and they will be looking to find out whether they're going to get up into the higher points when it gets to the finals at Shrewsbury this year.
After events all over Britain leading up to the Vettel National Mountain Bike Challenge in Brighton, the main focal point is the overall rankings for the year in the top Pro Elite group. Reigning champion David Baker from Sheffield is holding first position with 69 points, while Barry Clark and Nick Craig are both tied on 61 points in second position, and with everything to go for, as either one of these two is certainly capable of catching and beating Baker. Fourth position is Chris Young with 52 points, but there's a lot of pressure from the pack behind. The women's professional leader is is Deb Morell from Yorkshire, with just a 1-point advantage over Sian Roberts, while Caroline Alexander, Britain's top female racer at the moment, has slipped to third after missing events due to her World Tour bid, and that might give Louise Robinson the chance to close the gap this weekend. With a full-time professional World Tour, a massive interest in the sport, and now receiving the ultimate accolade of becoming an Olympic sport in 1996, mountain biking has really come of age and has rapidly become one of the most popular participant sports in the world. It's an incredible record of growth and has given a whole new generation an interest in cycling, all in the space of less than 20 years since the bikes were first developed in California. It took a while to cross the Atlantic, but one of the first to take it up competitively is Mr. Mountain Biking Mick Ives, who has won over 1,000 titles in his career to date.
Mountain biking came to the fore in the UK about 5 years ago, and initially I wasn't too interested in it. I'd seen how to go at every sport and got involved in it. And then I just got bit by the bug, and I could see great potential in it. And I thought, well, I want to put my...
This year I broke a shoulder blade earlier in the year, and it's just, yeah, you're taking chances all the time. You're riding at very high speed downhill, so accidents tend to happen.
What safety precautions do you have to take? I mean, do you have all the usual gear that we see?
We all wear helmets. Yeah, obviously that's a definite.
Yeah, that's obviously very hard.
Yeah, I mean, the one we
helmet.
use for downhill ones come around like a full face skiers helmet and protect the faces as well.
Yeah.
Then I wear just shin and knee pads, but a lot of other riders will wear proper body armour, which is plastic, and hopefully stops the impact. And
How fast can you actually go? What speeds can you do on that downhill event?
in England, it's not so fast. It's more technical, and in Europe. But we went over to Mammoth in California, which is a world-renowned course, kamikaze, and you hit 60 mile an hour regular. You know, it's really
very fast, isn't it? That's very fast. So, what encouraged you to get into the sport in the first place? I mean, was it at school? Is it encouraged for kids at school?
Not really. No, it was just I used to ride motorcycles a lot and trained on mountain bikes, and then went and did a few mountain bike races, and actually just started racing them last year, and then did well, got sponsorship. And it's all happening now.
It's all happening now. Well, you must be quite excited because, again, I mentioned it earlier, an Olympic sport for 1996. Was that something you ever expected?
I didn't, to be honest. No, I'm very surprised it's ever got in because they've got so many other sports as well, you know, and cycling's a bit of a minority sport.
Will it be a demonstration sport or will it be a full competitive sport?
I think it's a full competitive sport as far as I know. I'm not quite sure, but the downhill discipline I do, unfortunately, is not going to be included next time. It's just the cross-country riders, so...
And will you be entering that?
I can't do cross-country, no.
Oh, so we're not going to see it, the 1990, after all
me.
that? Too much pedalling?
Yeah, just like to go down.
Do you think that maybe they will introduce, now they've obviously introduced the other side, will they introduce downhill eventually?
I think it will definitely come because you look at downhill skiing, it's bigger than cross-country skiing. I think it's only a matter of time, and even now the downhill is taken over from cross-country. I think more spectators, and they're billing it after the cross-country a lot of the time, you know.
Well, it looks very exciting, and I know we've seen a little bit of what you can do, but you're going to show us what you've got up your sleeve now, a few little tricks. So go on, let's strut your stuff.
Right. Worn out.
I've got to say, come back here because you're worn out. You're worn out. It is hard work, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing balance there, isn't it? I mean, do you train in any other way to actually be able to do those disciplines?
The balance just comes from riding and riding for ages and ages.
Oh, look, he's puffing his little heart out. Well, listen, I'm gonna set you a challenge. All right, you're so good on that bike, and you know we've got our celebrity challenge at darts, and £200 will be going to a charity of your choice. So, what charity would you like it to be donated to?
I'd like to give it to the Blackpool Children's Leukemia Society.
Right, so this goes to the Blackpool Leukemia Children's Trust. Now, you've got to beat 104. You have 9 darts, okay, and you've got to do it from the bike. You like to take your helmet? Of course you can. Now, I'll hand you the darts one by one, which makes it a bit easier
easier for you. And you're not allowed to fall off your bike, Rob.
Right, that's right, my best.
Right. Oh, well, amazing. That's a treble. There's a treble. Oh, hang on, that's a shame. A little miss there, but you are expected to miss when you're doing it on a bike.
I'm not a dart player anyway.
Well done. This
36.
36. Listen, I've got to say, you can have a rest for a minute. You can put a foot down. I've got to say that that's more than the bachelor scored, or one of our bachelors scored, in his first round. Oh, hang on, but one at a time. Right, here we go. Full start.
It's a first, folks, it's a first. Bouncing darts on a bike. What next? Darts are from a bouncy castle. And he's not doing bad at all.
31.
Canny darts, a bit better than the bachelors we've seen earlier. What do you think of that, John? Where will the game go to next?
And
you don't know, do you? We've been told on your bike. As soon as we finish singing on your bike, they said, and look what happens. Somebody rides in on the very one we rode out of.
And there's no truth in the rumour that me, John and Dave will be singing Harry Seacombe's greatest hits at about 4:30, so keep watching. We won't ruin the viewers. I think he aimed at that double as well.
67!
More encouragement.
Yeah, can we check the score, Fred? What's the score?
134, 631 and 67 in 9 darts. Absolutely brilliant.
That's right, and that goes ahead of the bachelors. The bachelors got 104, so at present this lad is leading the Sky Special Table.
What can I say? 134. You must be pleased with that. Have you been practising?
Not really, no, not a great deal.
You're just a star,
I thought
aren't
I'd
you?
leave my good hand till the last throw, though.
Right, well, it's 134 as it stands tonight. If anyone else doesn't beat that, then you take that £200 to the Blackpool Leukemia Trust for Children. Paul, are you good at that?
I'm not in that fella's class, that's for sure. We'll find out how the other stars of Blackpool do as we go along. But this is the running total, and it's Rob Warner, the two-wheel expert, who's also proving a darts expert this afternoon. And if nobody can beat his 134, then the charity that Rob has nominated there will receive £200 today, courtesy of Sky Sports. Lovely afternoon. Let's go for a stroll down the pier, see what Dave is up to down there. Well, there we are. We've got a Sky Sports.
It's the traditional curtain raiser to the season.
A real cracker from Cantona!
A battle between the two giants of English football. Manchester between the two giants of English football. Manchester United versus Blackburn Rovers.
It's been a great afternoon, but still lots to go. And I tell you what, we've still got a decent-sized crowd down here as well, enjoying the late afternoon sun. But I tell you what, for me, it's been fascinating watching Rob Warner, who we saw earlier on in the programme in the studio in the Winter Gardens. He's now come down here on his trials bike. And if I step back out of the way, just watch this. He's just about the best in the business, isn't he? Rob Warner is the name. Now, if it were after dark in Blackpool, him going home like that would probably raise one or two eyebrows among the local constabulary. Which reminds me that a little later, the Blackpool Tower will be here in person. Wade Dooley, policeman and former England and Lions lock forward, looking back to the big rugby union stories of the weekend. But right after this, it'll be Mick Miller taking on Chubby Brown and Duncan Norville at the dartboard. See you in a moment.